Economic and Financial Crime Commission is testing deep waters. The EFCC is testing and trying the patience of Nigerians by arresting the very dark man under whatever disguise. The GTB bank has been alleged or accused of this conspiracy. Unfortunately, most Nigerians, predominantly among the youths, are closing their GTB bank accounts in response to the alleged conspiracy to arrest the very dark man who has been outspoken, speaking and intervening on sundry matters bordering on injustice and exploitation among Nigerians. Now, that's left me with no other option to begin to question the sincerity, the competence, and integrity of the EFCC personnel. On several occasions, many Nigerians have accused them of being systematically and fantastically corrupt. There are several high-profile criminal cases of corruption bordering on the past executive governors and other public office holders in Nigeria today that is well acclaimed, that people are aware of. But today, the case is nowhere. We only see the beginning, but we never saw the end of the case or the trial. Could it mean that the EFCC are now more fantastically corrupt than even the corrupt criminal politicians who has on several occasions been indicted? Most of them, unfortunately, even when they get to EFCC office, like the likes of Yaya Bello, who was accused allegedly of stealing more than close to 90 billion naira of Kogi's common treasury. When he went to the EFCC office, they failed to arrest him on the basis that he is in company with the current governor of Kogi State. So immunity even covers him even after he had served his tenure of 8 years as a governor. He could not be questioned or arraigned or even detained or pending on the investigation if actually they have anything to nail him with. So people have been provoked and greatly annoyed over the selective justice and injustice carried out by those who should fight injustice. On my way back from office in Oshodi, I saw the Kai, they call them kick against indiscipline. What they are doing, I was close to 150 meters away from the overhead bridge, and they went as far as taking me across the road because I was very far from the bridge. More than 150 or close to 150 meters away from the bridge. How could you expect me? That is not my destination. I'm heading forward and you have to bring me back, claiming that I have to take, if the bridge is very close, you make use of the pedestrian bridge. Lawlessness being thrown by those who should uphold morality, who should uphold dignity, who should uphold justice, equity, and fairness to all. What they do, the Kai officers, when they indiscriminately arrest people or hold people, they negotiate with them and they settle them. These are Kai kick against indiscipline. They are more fantastically corrupt, more indisciplined, because when you extort Nigerians, Lagos State government should look into this. What the Kai officers are doing in Oshodi. They extorted 5,000 naira from me and every other person who, of course, after negotiation, you can pay. They threaten you that once you get to office, you will pay 50,000 and the rest of them, that even the judge, the mobile court will not even give you any listening voice or even to defend yourself. You will just be judged. Is that how society should be run? They provided POS, is it money points or so that they have reached a compromise with the POS person once they paid that money. And unfortunately, the name there was an Igbo man, Igbo name. If the POS, it might be the POS, they will go there and collect the money. What kind of country are we running? What kind of country are we running? EFCC has Bible say, and unfortunately, GTB Bank is being dragged into this mess, which will definitely affect them. By the time they realize it, even I discovered that the video footage, according to what I saw, I heard in the social media, that the very dark man was not arrested within the premises of the bank, but it was said or reported that he was detained within that point of entrance or exit. So if they could be linked to that, it's very unfortunate that the fundamental human rights and the rights of customers, of course, has been destroyed. Everybody does whatever they do. The same people, when I went, I saw my money missing, and eventually I went there and they told me it was hanging somewhere. I never did any transaction and the money had to hang somewhere. And of course I have to meet the customer care, and they have no option than to rectify the issues, because the 6,000 short of what I wanted to do. I know I never made any transaction. I was keeping the money, and eventually it is not complete. They telling me that it's hung somewhere. Who is hanging the money? The level of recklessness, abuse of office and privileges is worrisome. And of course, the youth are sending very serious signals that EFCC, don't think we are not watching you. Don't think that we are not seeing the selective justice. There are those who should be tried, and there are those who should be intimidated and suppressed. There are those who should go scot-free. It doesn't matter their level of criminality and indulgence in criminality and any sort of vices. They are covered, immune, provided they join APC or not, connected to the powers that be. EFCC will even respect them and give them shit. Tell me, how many high-profile criminal cases has been established by EFCC that they started and concluded to the logical point that we send people, okay, out there in the public that we have confidence in the EFCC ability to fight corruption. On several occasions, they have been accused that the body that should fight corruption are more fantastically corrupt themselves. Now, with this battered public image, how could you convince the masses that you are indeed fighting corruption? And most times it's being selective. So Lagos State government should look into this abuse and extortions by the KAI group or KAI officials, especially in that Oshodi. Somebody away, 100 meters away from the pedestrian bridge, should not be called back to go back and use the bridge for what? Unless you are very closer to the pedestrian bridge, you make use of the bridge. And they are using this to intimidate people, to extort the Nigerians or the Lagosians. It is quite alarming and unfortunate. Yes, I have to transfer the money to them, to this thing they provided. And they were so conscious, they searched my phone because I was holding it, and they were thinking that I was trying to capture them. What right has KAI officials to search the phone of Nigerians, of Lagosians? What right would give them permission to search people's phone? Because they're afraid they could be implicated. Otherwise, indeed, of course, I intended to get a snapshot of them. If they're doing what is right, why should they be scared? of being implicated, or perhaps they are scared. If you are doing the right thing and you know your conscience does not prick you, your conscience is clear, why should you be afraid of somebody capturing you or taking a snapshot? Clear conscience fears no accusation. I just wished I have all these secret cameras. That would have been a very strong case against them. Of course, they meted away with the 5,000, of course, and talking blasts. That is quite unfortunate. That is the level of criminality in the system. Sometimes they blame the president, they blame the governor. Most of the government officials are more systematically, fantastically corrupt. They have the slightest opportunity, they exploit the masses. They threaten the masses with their uniform. You are kicking against indiscipline, but you are more indisciplined, corrupt, and endemically destructive. The Lagos State government, my appeal is that the Lagos State government should send a secret monitoring team to monitor these people, especially in the axis. It's very important because what they are doing is against the law, is illegal, it is not permissible. Now, if you claim you are a government officer, why should you coerce people to send money to a private person account so that you will cover up your shady dealings? Imagine they arrested 100 people illegally. I'm not saying that neglecting the use of the pedestrian bridge, of course, for safety measures, because of the highway, the way the car moves at the speed, I didn't say that people should stop using it. If you're closer to the pedestrian bridge, and also most of the time people have complained in that same place that these touts and some hoodlums rob them of their wares, of their belongings. So adequate protective measures should be put in place as well, so that when people are making use of the pedestrian bridge, especially in that Oshodi, people will also, the safety of the people should also be put into considerations. You can't be hearing all these assaults, exploitations, and the government cannot take actions. It has happened to many, not just I myself. But I made a promise I will expose it. I will call the attention of the government to look into all these menace, vices. In order to salvage the situation. It is getting out of proportion. Honestly, everybody taking advantage or no advantage, just as what is happening now. The youths are fed up with this nonsense going on here and there, being tolerated. And you think that is the way of life. I think that is the way to go. That is a far cry from what a society, a moral and decent society should look. You see the security personnel, when they arrest people, in fact, everybody is now can check your particulars, can do that. Nobody, you are not confused. But the fact remains that people will not continue to tolerate these abnormalities for a long time. We've come to the point, to our wit end, where such issues must be addressed, where sanity, discipline should be the core value of any public office holder. Well, I wouldn't blame them, because if those at the top are exploiting the masses, so they will also, at their own cadre, do the same. But if there is discipline at the top, of course, the same will be wired down, that psychologically, and to the people to know that, of course, we have to tighten up and do what is needful. But you don't have to wait until somebody forces you to do what is right. Before you do that, that means it means you are not mature, you are not responsible, you're not accountable to the society, of course, to the public, and to God, your maker. You must not wait for somebody to watch you before you do what is right. But sadly, that is just the situation. And as badly as this is, the story and experience of many Nigerians today, they are being exploited from all fronts. And those people, in fact, they have caused them, they never knew who they met. That as that money goes out, whatever virtue that will be accorded to them, all of them will never see good. That 5,000 will tie them down and their entire generation until they repent of this wickedness and serve humanity with dignity and honor. So EFCC, of course, should be seeing the reactions of Nigerians, and it's very sadly the public image that is being perceived about such an organization that is saddled or created to fight corruption. But today, we have seen several governors, past and serving, who were accused of corruption, and yet EFCC could not substantiate, could not adjudicate, could not follow up this, and let's see how it ended. It's quite sad. With such a system, you rather get worse. You continue to build a system that is heading to destruction. It's quite sad and very unfortunate. Let's have your own take regarding these reactions and what you think would be the way to remedy this bad omen, to remedy this atrocity, to remedy this impunity that is perverting the entire system.